Step 3 events, your satisfaction our priority. This is a disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this show by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the channel. Furthermore, the views and the opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the host and the channel.
Danke. Siyabonga kodwa uchaze Yemurai. Wafika studio abantu bachazeka ukuhamba njani?
I know. The atmosphere, I guess, is such that people are happy. Okay. So I'm happy.
So busanjela about why khathesi wonke umuntu esedithwasa wonke umuntu why are they turning spiritual?
No, sometimes I feel like ngakhangela lapha eZimbabwe particularly, even Gobulawayo la. There's a lot of hardships people go through. And when people go through hardships, the question they will always ask is why?
Okay.
They need a reason. And you find African spirituality, so to speak, it always has an answer. It's either there's a person who has done something, you have done something either in the present or in the past, but there's always an explanation. Because once there's an explanation, there's a remedy.
Okay.
When you have a problem that you can't find a solution to, you have to go spiritual.
You have to go spiritual.
And we have too many problems that we don't have answers. Yeah.
And then in our space, art, do we have an artist as a twaside? Because I think Umsizike will be going along those lines.
Yeah, that's a complicated question. Very complicated. But
artists
kulama artists they are very spiritual. I can't say but I feel like they are deeply rooted in spirituality. One of them is Mepras Ukhabarat.
Yes.
Then also Fish.
Fish, yes. Fish, yes.
Yeah, so those two, I feel they are, deeply spiritual.
Thank you, Siyabonga. Welcome to the Mfumfimfo Show. Namhlanje we want to remove yonke Mfumfimfo. Mfumfimfo Show proudly brought to you by Deb3 Events. Please don't forget, on YouTube, Deb3 Events TV, hit the subscription button and the notification button. And also special thanks to Piri Event Solutions for giving us furniture. And also Deb3 Studios. Now we have a studio, so if you want to do a musical video, you just come here and you want us fresh, Baba. Yes.
I will be back.
Yes. Yeah. So now we're shooting Enkundleni exclusive at Deb3 Events studio where we do music videos, and also professional photo shoot for your press kit.
Yeah, Baba.
Yes, you just pop here. And then also sponsored by Ogushe Designs, those who do our graphics, visuals, A2, and also in partnership with ORG Media Services. Yes. So we're not expecting an Amany coming soon necessarily and saying Nyoni.
Yeah, no, but I actually want to appreciate the space you guys have. I think it's needed. I'm also really happy to see the growth of Deb3.
Yes,
there's so many things that you guys are doing, and I just want to appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Isis Abwe will come and support. I think I want to shoot a visualizer here for one of the singles that we're releasing in Malangen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So if singers that you're already bringing out?
Yes. So you were talking about spirituality earlier. When the year crossed over, I decided I want to focus more on, isn't this spiritual? I think there were things in my life that I'd gone through that I reflected on and realized, you know what, if my heart was not in the right place, if I didn't have enough motivation, I wouldn't have, gotten where I got to. So I've just taken some time now with inspirational music. Some of that music is a bit of gospel and so forth. So yeah, we've been working on some really good music, and you'll hear it in a couple of months' time.
So you have a project that's dropped or that's dropping?
That's dropping. I've shared some of the first few tracks. There's a track I released called Enkundleni.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got two ladies there who are new
to the scene.
Yeah, so to speak. They are backing vocalists. They've been doing a lot of stuff. They are with Vocalex, but now we are working for them to launch their own solo careers.
Okay.
Yeah, so to start off, I've said, listen, feature on my project, and then Okamba West Kati, as you start to find your sound, you can actually step out and do your own thing.
Okay. What's the name of the album?
So it's a 3-part album.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Yeah, some gentleman once told me to think about doing it as small bits.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 3-part. It's the way, the truth, and the life. So Indlela,
Iqiniso.
Iqiniso, Impilo.
Okay.
So that's the three. The first one here that we're
That's a
preparing to
deep and
release.
broad name for an album.
Yeah, you can say so. Indlela is more the path of life, the journey of life. So you're reflecting on different things that you've gone through, I've gone through, people go through, and the types of songs and messages that carry you through empilweni. I look to the past, I look to the present, I also look to the future. So Zingoma, whether it's now or in future, I will find relevance in, because I found relevance in them in the past. Yeah, so when I look at Iqiniso, for example, I decided to focus on stories of love. Iqiniso ngothando. Ngoba I've had quite an interesting history around love and relationships. I have stories to tell, and I want to take it out there and let people, hear for themselves. There are good things about love. There are not so good things about love. I actually called Dead to Love.
Dead to Love.
Yeah.
Can't translate that to Ndebele, yeah?
I know you can't. Yeah, but there are lyrics in there was Ndebeleni. One of the key phrases is Ansela ndaba nawe. Yeah. So sometimes, in Tanzania, you also need to let go. You need to let old relationships die.
So how do you end up dating a Tanzanian chick?
Ndota, it's complicated.
It's not even dating. Huh? How do you even end up getting married to a Tanzanian chick?
I'll blame it on work. So I used to work in Kenya.
Yeah?
Nganse Kenya ndota.
Okay.
Nganilanda isauce yomumbulwana lwana esasiwudla lwana
yeah. We might be eating that this day. There's no rain.
Yeah, but I was doing some work in Kenya, and I spent about 10 to 11 months there. Part of the work I was doing included me going Air Tanzania, back and forth. So during my meetings there, yes. I was single at the time, so I saw.
Abe Kenya wabonang, but what luma if you? You were a bite on a few.
But no, they didn't really hit the spot.
Even 1, 2, 3.
You can
say that no church folks are listening, but hey, he's a nigga too.
Guys, I need to travel to Kenya soon, so I have to be careful. No, the truth is, I think our cultures are different. Kenyans speak Kiswahili, but they have quite a lot of pride because their economy is very robust. And so when you talk to a woman from Kenya, there's a lot more work you have to do. There's a lot more you also have to do to prove material, to learn. Malini, what. For the caliber of woman I was looking for, I needed to have a certain profile. And to be frank with you, I don't think I had that kind of profile. Also, some of the women I met were very aggressive.
In what sense?
Let's learn in Kenya, guys. Please be careful. No, like but culture doesn't allow.
Okay.
So aggressiveness, I want to be the one to chase after you.
The chick.
But you are chasing after me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm saying me now, what put me off? She was chasing after me. Me now, I want to be the one to chase after me. For you. And they are not listening to your plans for them. There's a challenge there. Yeah, so I realized, no, there's a lack of compatibility. So in Tanzania actually are good friends of Zimbabweans. They love Zimbabweans. They're also more...
They love us out there.
Yeah.
They love us.
Also, to be fair, in Tanzania, things are chilled. Things are not that expensive. If you want to go to the beach as Hambela...
There's a place that's more chilled than Bulawayo.
Yeah. Tanzania is good. It's good. It's good. Okay. Yeah, I still have memories. Like, but even the people are very welcoming. Remember, I was doing work in 2 countries. It was easier for me to do work in Tanzania than to do work in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah. Kenya abantu babethanda izinto kakhulu fast. Tanzania sibili bakwamukela ukuthi I know where all the expertise, come do your thing, help us and then we help you. So it was easy.
There's a different language, Yaman. It's easy for me to work in Tanzania than Kenya. Do you know what?
Yes. No, but no, that theory. No, but sometimes, you can find a jewel in a difficult place. In a tricky place. Sometimes. My wife now is from Country Park, for example.
Is it Country Park, Lesia?
Country Park.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Everything doing.
Caravan, lapano 10 left. also turn right, but I can't give you other directions.
Yekubo eish manje ungakhuluma njalo istress umahlekisa phela abantu mangali istress sangibona usungamnika zona amana iCV yangona yama ex kunzima singayidingi.
True, actually. So sometimes you can find a good person in a relatively stereotypically difficult place.
Yes.
Yeah, but
so you in Tanzania, you see this girl. How do you link up with her?
She was helping me and a colleague of mine, like to connect with some of the activists that we wanted to work with. I work in the field of health.
Okay.
Yeah. And she was very kind, very open, very interested in conversations.
And you want to take it now?
Yeah, I was like, okay. But very smart and very confident. So it was easy for us to, get conversation going. So when I went back to Kenya, we then kept in touch.
Okay.
Things, as they say, one thing led to another. And then we started to date. And then I left Kenya, I came back to Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Then COVID-19 happened. I left Kenya because my job had ended. So things financially were not so good. COVID was also restraining, us and making it difficult to travel and so forth. So the relationship started to break down.
Okay.
Yeah. So eventually, because distance relationships are expensive. In fact, still if it's in another country, you need to know what you have enough money. So you know what you have to just pack bags and life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So disruption is a long distance, you can't travel. I'll say man die.
Yeah, and whilst COVID was happening, I was releasing music. My ex-wife did not want to marry a musician.
Oh.
Because she had been involved in the media industry in Tanzania. She had seen Bonkelawa, Diamond Platinums, Ray Vanny, and so forth, and the types of lives that they lived.
So she now stereotypes who to very this guy who to pillar so.
Yeah, so I used to do music. I'll tell her no, it's so that I de-stress and so forth. But when I wasn't working, I was not doing a lot of music. Mm-hmm. So she was like, no, this is not the
kind of man I want in my life.
No. So as in they become bigger issues later on.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was like, it's a small thing. Then it became bigger. And now I was saying, listen, my purpose is in music also. So my purpose is important. And if you're my wife, then part of that is you have to support my purpose. Like she had things she was doing, I was supporting her purpose. But sometimes, mama, they want you to support their purpose.
More than yours.
And they are not as willing to support yours. So selfishness, Leo, is not compatible for marriage. It's good sometimes for relationships when you're covering your back, but once you cross over to marriage, I believe, Uguti, you have to let that selfishness go. Yeah. Support each other unconditionally. So eventually, when things were now unfolding, she told me, I didn't want marriage.
That's what she told you?
Yes, that was never my idea. But when I I just wanted to date.
That's what she said?
Yes.
But look, so after after your relationship. Yeah. That comes later.
It comes later when stuff is starting to unravel.
When I was she's saying that out of the anger. Or she said that because now you're actually telling yourself, you could tell what she was dating.
No, she was dating. That was fair. Because there's a point actually when we engaged where she returned my ring.
For real?
Yeah, every so often. I've been through a lot, my guy. So those who listen to Enkundleni or EP, I'll put some of that stuff in there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but they should go through episodes of like, there's some issue that comes up. And that causes a large-scale conflict.
Okay.
Because every so often when she started feeling anxious about the concept of marriage, things would rise up in the relationship.
When were you in too deep that much, but you definitely knew this is my honey?
No, I knew. I prayed about it. But sometimes good things can end up being bad. You know, Moses go promised land. So
Ngoba sengethukile switch up yakhona ibe fast.
uMoses kwakumele angene kuKenan, but wabonela iKenan esekhatshana. Why? Because there are things that he did in the process that disqualified him from getting into that place of promise. So you can find the right person, Angiti, but sometimes if that person doesn't manage the blessing well, Lami, if I don't manage the blessing well, that's grounds utility separate. Even if you're the right person. Yes. But if you don't carry what you have the right way, I will plan.
So that's what you think she did, or you did, or both of you?
I think both of us, but I had to make the final decision.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, sorry, mama, but I've not had good experiences with some women, unfortunately. But women will seldom take the blame when things don't go well.
Yes.
And so, I had to accept to listen. Whatever backlash is coming, I will take it. Even in Dabayet divorce, she's the one, for example, who introduced it. But then I had to take responsibility and say, this is what we're going to do.
Yo.
So even when the family is fighting back, people are complaining, it's my responsibility.
Okay, you just took that blame.
I took it even now. Sometimes you'll find them on my Instagram. Lenga hamba ku Instagram ga man, and you find comments in an unusual language.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
you didn't have kids with her or something?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
So anyway, it's a long story.
So how then, when by then now your world has crumbled and fallen apart, how is your mental space, Magic Konapa? So what depression?
Hey, it was a tough time. At the time, I was on the project, Liana Gango, Labo MJ,
okay,
Labo Murphy. So it really helped to Balamachita around and to do something creative. It was even better because the project blew up and became much bigger. So I had something I could pour into. Unfortunately, my mental state was not very stable. So was
it really intense when you went? Can you say what you went through a depression?
Yeah, I did. I tried to cope by filling my life with all sorts of things.
Okay.
So music was my drug. I dated. I think I was in 3 relationships in the space of 2 months.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also lumelula.
Ngokungamanga kuhle. I had to stop myself actually when you crossed over into the new year.
Yes.
Because there's some decisions I was making that were now very, very bad. You know, I was kanging and you're like, this is not me. Yeah. You're like, my character has changed.
You have a character flow now.
Character flow. You know, like if you're a person, I have to be frank, who's never cheated, ever.
And put it out.
Yeah, that was how I was. But during that time, I cheated.
Okay.
And now I'm looking at myself, and there's some very risky decisions, that I made. And I looked at who I had been before I met this lady I now divorced. I looked at who I was, and I realized there was a problem. So I decided to stop dating, take some time out, recover.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, when we're going through suicide, since we go through depression, yes.
Yeah.
Amachita they usually end up thinking of suicide, huh?
Yeah.
Especially in Davazabocheri.
Yeah.
What do you think protected you? Because it might help someone out there. What do you Captain Man and underground thing I got get. Maybe I want cheater.
Music was number 1. But there are many ways to kill yourself. Let me put it that way. Yeah, there are many ways to kill yourself. Uti, death is not just the absolute death of killing the physical body.
Okay.
There are things that you do that can kill your spirit. That can kill your sense of immoral rightness. That can kill even time, even kill your money. So even the way you spend money, the way you spend your body, so to speak, the way, you get into relationship after relationship.
You're coming in, you're coming out.
Amakio, they'll say you're burning the candle on both ends. So you are acting out. So you're acting out. Kulabantu, who, even though they are not like threatening their lives directly, but there are other things. If behavior is no longer normal. You are no longer accountable to authority. Isn't Zenza, they are actually more harmful to you, even though they don't kill you.
But they're more harmful to you mentally.
Yes, mentally, even physically, even financially. Even though you put money in things that seem sensible, but you're cool. So you become a workaholic. Other people, vele eziningi izinto
abanye abantu bayatshayisa wona susala wethu emsebenzini ema-ofisini.
for no apparent reason. So it's just a lack of balance.
Okay.
I realized at that point my life lacked balance.
Then you went back to music now.
I went to music, but I also stopped music.
Futhi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, because I'm a cheater, if you are pouring from a relatively empty cup, isn't even the people you're around will be able to see it. And some conflicts even emerge in places that they shouldn't.
Yes.
So I'm a cheater. We had some misunderstandings also. And I was like, let me stop doing music for now. Let me pause. So I spent some time in January praying, fasting, ding unkulunkulu. The first thing I was fasting from is relationships, for obvious reasons. And eventually I came back to myself. And I decided, I have lots of capacity. I decided to fall in love again, but this time to do it from the right place.
Yeah. Fall in love yakho ileyo yakhathesi. I-churches.
Yeah.
I-light lakho. I-yellow pony zesa yakhe engahambiyo.
Ikhandlela on both ends. Yeah. No, so that's currently that's who is my wife.
Okay.
Now, and
wow,
I don't
nice.
look to change. I think I found a good person. Into sharp, Sibili.
No revenge motives.
No.
It's just clean.
No toxicity.
Yes.
Yeah. And also she's committed to the concept of marriage.
Okay.
She understands what it is and we look at it from similar angles. Marriage ayifuna ukuthi kube lo munye ongumnikazi wemarriage.
Wemarriage, yes.
Onguye director of ceremonies ukuthi wena njengoba wena yenza so senza so you have to get in lonke kuyi 50-50.
Okay.
So I feel like
she supports your music.
She supports the music. Actually, sahlangana music.
Oh, nice. So now talking about music, we already talked about the album, your music, how it plays a role to heal your depression. When does this musical journey begin for you?
Hey, that's a tricky one. Fair too. Maybe should I start with Papa Black Sheep? A crash? Aye. It's too far back.
Some starts from there.
From there, yeah, true. No, I didn't give music serious attention until I was in the UK. I lived in the UK for 5 years. I'm in the UK for 5 years. Prior to then, I'd been involved at church in certain things and so forth. I have my older brother, Babusi actually now is a DJ. He creates home music using artificial intelligence. He's based in the Netherlands now.
Oh.
What's Babusi's handle? State Off.
Okay.
Hamba go Instagram, look for State Off. So I said, nxa sihambe Macross, so siqale sikwenze remix. Macross is Southwold.
Okay.
Oh, location.
So Southwold, that's Macross, I'm a shop. I'm a cross.
I'm a groceries. No. Okay. Ema shop. Sasihlale lokuzeni. Sasihlala kwenye lokuzeni. Anti Gatesi City boys khaya.
Yes.
General lokuzeni. Montrose. And we'd walk to see Emma shop a Southwold.
Okay.
Through umgwaqo uBanper.
Talk baba.
Sasithi nxa sihamba sasikhona ku North Ledge sasingena uBanper. We'd start to remix izingoma. So omunye aqale shaya enye ingoma, omunye sengena ngeyinye.
Okay.
So silandela the same beat.
There's mix.
Yes, there's mixer. So sasishaya ngxe one time kube i-house, kube i-dance hall and so forth. So we used to do that. That's the type of family we were. Boys khaya khona phana kwakuyi-room eyi-1 sasihlala singabafana bayi-4. My two brothers were shape bunk bed. Ngalala esofeni. Ubhuti omdala had his nice 3/4 bed.
Oh yeah.
But the music sasiyithanda.
Donke.
Yes, song. So that one is Babusi. I have a brother called Karikai. He actually used to run a club called a Waterfront Lounge.
Okay.
Queens, ngangale kwangikhona kule pool.
Okay.
Kudala. He used to create his own amplifiers.
Oh,
Yes. After O-level, he'd create his own stuff. So I think the family generally had that musicality. So nkhaya vele sasishaya latest songs, we mix a dingy laptop, benamat disc, fake ingoma vele ezintsha. So we had that type of culture. So when I went to the UK, that's when I started to sing more at church. Then I met a producer who was from Zimbabwe. I hambe church as well. And that's when we created our first song. That was my first time in studio.
Okay.
And I realized, you know what, I'm creative. I've got a
can
beautiful
do this.
voice. Let's do it. And his word, when he told me, is like, you know what, if you have ingoma phakathi kwakho, it no longer belongs to you. It now belongs to the people.
So what made it?
Yeah, it's a burden now. You have to go into studio, find a way to get that music out there. So that's been my approach. There is no song I keep inside of me. I will go to studio. I will do something. Yeah. And that's correct.
That was your first session.
First session.
First session, are you a rapper or you
I was singing. I did a remix of gospel songs. The song actually, I then redid it. It's called Na Jesu.
Okay.
It's very hard to go to Amany walk in a straight line, musically. When it says the music, the larynx normally it tells me it's Amany featuring Amany featuring Amany. The first verse, iyabe rapper, hook tabela, verse sense something else, but it's still the same artist.
Yes.
So that's the kind
and
of.
by then, what's your stage name or something like that?
When I then started releasing, it was Amany.
Okay.
Amany. That's been my artist name from the very beginning. Why? I think there's a tribe called Quest.
Okay.
You've heard that. I think maybe it's American. And there was another type of Ngania Fanana Sombichan. I was like, no, this is a man named Yemurai. Also,
Okay.
if I'm in Bulawayo as a Bulawayo artist and I want to launch a career, it's very difficult for me to sing and call myself Yemurai.
Hey, Anja go Bulawayo.
Plan. So I had to listen to my market and introduce my name in a slightly artistic way.
Yes, but still you want to keep your name.
Yeah, my name has to be there.
Yeah, so then Amany, a
man named Yemurai.
Okay, a man called Yemurai.
Yeah, so the Amany then becomes an introduction. Then I can talk to you and then explain to you what it all means and why it's structured that way.
And then your family now, but in music, you didn't. I guess you didn't have any challenges. When you said this is what I want to do.
When I started with gospel, it was because my family is very spiritual. Then my second song was a love song. My third song was a song A Mother's Day. That's the first song I released lapha Bulawayo.
Okay.
I went to Enkundleni FM to do an interview, Sakelene, when you were still there at Enkundleni FM. So what I tried to do was be tactical in the type of music I release, because it was new for my family to have a family member who's an artist. Nkaya kule stereotype ukuthi an artist umuntu ongela plan.
Okay.
Artists, ngabantu enqeba abuse alcohol, ababhema imbanje, who are humanizers. In principle, an artist is a secular person in my world. Once you're an artist, they don't believe you are aligned to the church anymore.
Oh.
So the music I started to make had to be a bridge. They actually see, oh no, this is not the stereotypical.
We can relate to this.
Yes.
Something that I can relate to.
And then later on, I started to do things as diverse. Yeah, and that's been the journey. It was tough to get my family's support at the start.
Oy problem man.
Masalo, we have a support, but yakuthetha intenhle, but kuzabuya okunye phambili.
Okay.
Because she really was concerned. Wait, are you making a career out of this? What's happening? When we're doing Gang-O, we went to 5 clubs in the same night. No, it was 7.
Okay.
7 clubs in 5 hours. Los Conjo, please, if you want to do promotions and you go with Conjo, be prepared to go through different nightclubs. Samba gonke.
Okay.
Everywhere. Stands, Sati, Boundaries, Sati, Cosmo, Yeah. So when my mom heard this is what I was doing, she was like, this is the lifestyle I was telling you artists do.
I see it.
It's nightclub, baby.
Yes.
So I found out, you know what? If you really want to be effective as an artist, you have to understand, 1, be true to your purpose.
Okay.
2, be true to your voice. Number 3, be prepared to be offensive.
Okay.
You will offend people.
Yes,
you will
definitely.
offend your own family. And after they're offended, then you lead them in the right direction.
So how did you manage to stay above
offense?
Yes.
Money. I was able to balance my music with my other work.
Okay.
So they were waiting. Vele imali yakho ngaphela nje kuphela.
Ungabuyizwa sihlupho.
Music. So I've had to keep a very healthy bank balance. Also, it's helped ukuthi our work has been recognized. You know, nxa kudlala ku radio, when you're nominated for BAAs, when you create videos and people talk about your music in a good way. My mother's friends would be telling her, your son is doing these things and so forth. Even the church I used to go to in the UK, baqala be skeptical.
What's
happening? But I went in January this year, back, I'd gone on a work meeting, and they're like, we spoke to some people, and they were telling us, Amany. Amany is a big deal in Bulawayo, So it helps when the credibility profile.
It's very encouraging.
Then you can use that to say, you know what? Follow me. Let me show you. Let me tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Maybe you'll change your mind concerning me.
So, can I?
Yeah.
You started off in UK?
Yes.
Did you do any shows there?
UK, no, but I'll perform. I was in this circuit, Yama churches. Actually, I used to lead the London branch in terms of the praise and worship.
Oh.
And then Sasile unit, Sasile combined choir, who then come together and perform. Nagulama conference, Nagulama special events. So I would perform. Sometimes I'd even remix gospel songs. That's why I went to studio and then did a remix of one of the things I'd done in the live performance. Okay. So I used to perform, but only church songs.
Okay.
So when I came here, that's when I started now to perform what they call secular music. Yeah. And my first major performance was Pumla Old. Was it?
Yeah. What I want to ask, when we say UK, then you're picturing what in Zambe Kaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
What then was your experience usulapa?
Singila?
Yes.
First of all,
why was it? Did you match up with all Kanyele?
That was a tough experience. I tried to be smart, but it was tough. Because now we very UK, and the skins are
fresh, baba,
Jamones. But when I arrived, people had this mentality to
okay.
Lame was also a bit quick to keep him money for some things.
Iwala,
exactly.
But must be stopped. Iwala must be stopped.
Be slow. Don't remove money quick. So I started working with Cyril. Cyril Ngube is a photographer.
Okay.
The Cyril photographer. So he was a brother of mine I met at my brother's wedding. He was the one doing the photography. So so when I came back, I looked for him. Got him I'm producers that you know. Okay. The other person, he told me, talk to Mimi Tarukwana, yeah. So I also had a chat with Mimi. I'm telling Mimi, like you've been in the industry for a while. Yes, so she told me, listen, this is my band. These are the people I work with. I'm a dancers. These are the people I work with. These are the same people I'm still working with today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Larynx was the suggested producer. Gig Twins. Prince, the Slick.
Okay.
Those are the guys I always go with. Good band, Shekinah, Mishek.
Shekinah, Nama Nomini.
Yeah, Nama Nomini.
Hey, Ukina. Shekinah, Kina music, yes. Nama Nomini. Yes. The
only part that was tricky was the drummer. Ogutumbana, there's a Shama drum. So we found Caleb Castro. He was recommended by Larynx.
Okay.
And that's just been who I work with. I'm very loyal to people who I find which I work with well because I believe in family. I believe in us working together. Even Ngan Tolimali from elsewhere, if I want to put money in music, I'll put it yeah, because I can't succeed alone. When I'm working, I want to put money in music, so it has to.
Okay, yeah, very true. Yeah. So experience yakho lapha keeping his mind lapha kwahamba njani? Bakukhona bakudlalisa irafu. Bakudlalisa irafu.
Bampadalisa abantu. Kwaphuma imali. Kulo munye wadlalisa irafu.
But kwaphuma imali in a way la ekhathi esimawukhangela kwakulento owazibhadalela ungamela ngozibhadalela.
Yeah.
Or you were overcharged in terms of ukurecorda videos and everything.
It's one thing to charge imali eningi, but it's another to not deliver. When you've been paid imali eningi. Let me tell you one experience. I won't tell you who it was, but I worked with a producer on a project. one charger, a lot of money. It was the highest actually I've actually even paid.
Right, for how many songs and how much?
It was an EP, 6 songs.
Then what is
It was 100 and something.
Per song?
The beat was like 100, I think, and then mixing, mastering was another 100 or something close.
So let's say 200 for a song.
So
it's still just is it town or Ilogish?
it's a town.
Okay.
It's a town. But that's not the story gets tough. Gets tough. Saspana, we did what we did.
Where in the CBD Gapuma, everything is
What will
broken.
I promise? I could see we were going somewhere. But yeah, but then now I wanted to release the EP in August. The tracks are not ready. It was even August, actually. It was June. The tracks are not ready. July, the stems are missing, but we'll try and send them via email. I wanted to release it in August. You know, I had to travel back to Tanzania because I'd met a producer there to redo the entire project. I never got those songs till today. Yeah, I actually gave him more business later.
You gave him more business?
I did.
Let
me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Ujesu man, not exactly. I when I'm also let Ujesu la. Ujesu why was ukuthi uJudas uzamthengisa phambili.
Wena how Judas why raise very hard.
Sometimes it's better to work with someone who you know has
Judas
done it
Christ,
who's trying to prove a point. Because they'll work extra hard for the sake of their name. But unfortunately, as you can guess, eventually also we sakutana futi in another major project. A leopard cannot change its spots.
So much bonana
Yeah, but you know,
spaces.
some people you realize I go to church, so sometimes you mix business with interpersonal. So umuntu lo will be like a brother, like a young brother. Then you're like, you know what? Okay, let's try and work together. But sometimes you shouldn't trust isn't of high value to people that you just have a personal relationship with, just because you have a personal relationship with them.
True.
If business, for you to protect your business, give it to qualified people who deliver. So that's why I missed the mark. So I wish, actually, my preference now, if you are my brother, you are my brother. But unless it's a business, it's business.
Business,
Good trick.
so
The name is not coming. The name is not coming.
So don't
Yeah, let me tell you.
operational.
I told you, my heart, I have a very big heart. There's Anthony is queen.
Man, still do look operational.
Not here locally, though.
Sesugi.
Yeah, but he's still doing his work. He's still successful. I still wish him well. I still try to connect. And I would still invest in him just for his own sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one is a very different breed. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's my
but the
approach.
project at the end of the day, but I think people are feel such.
I hope blind. Yeah, see, sometimes when some things like that happen, you're like, is it me? Is it the quality of my work? You know? Because I want Umuten Serenzala.
So you never got closure from that?
No, because even now, but I realize when I work with someone, I need them to be motivated. I want them to be as excited about the project as I am.
Yes.
And
so you could keep up with the man. Yes. So also pushing music in Apa.
Yeah.
Locally, yeah? One of the projects that you created or you were part of was Gang War.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to have that experience again, or?
You know, that thing still gives me sleepless nights. Because I feel like if Vision Leana was not fulfilled, we never achieved the full potential of that project because we were not prepared for its success. Okay. So, I really feel ukuthi kumele kube lo phase 2. Okay. Even if it's different characters, although ideally if it's the same. But I've been asking myself, what is it ukuthi project lay
collapse?
Yeah. But also what made it successful, then what made it collapse? So if you'll allow me, I can tell you what I think. So what I think made it successful is the creative process yakhona was not overcooked. It was natural. Kwaqala kwabuya ingoma yakuqala, it had a good lead single, Koloi. Kwayenza a test in the public eye, ukuthi, is this what, do you want more of this? Sekunjalo, we're like, okay, this sound is good, let's record. Amachi Tabuya, we're in one house for it was about 3 to 4 hours. And then we recorded Ama Vocals Army in that. And then we recreated the same synergy. Kwangani, it's like this Afro soul vocalist and this kind of white black man, so to speak. This cowboy. Yeah. So to bring effusion, we're trying to cut across different, what you call this?
Audiences.
Different audiences, different markets.
Yes.
So we did all of that in one evening. And then we did release yet was predicated again on one lead single, good video, lots of promotion. We did our club tour. We collected visuals, so we went and performed this Ingoma for the first time to audiences that had never heard these songs. And we performed songs that had never been released. So by the time we released, people who go to BAC, Cosmo, Boundary, Stance, even people who were at Umkuza, they knew good to know amachitala bale stuff.
The
The other thing was, in the industry, bekungela outfit enjengati.
Okay.
Like people who say, listen, we are pop stars.
We want to make this thing happen.
Yes. We're confident. In Tesla, you want it. And we're going to give it to you. Yeah. So that approach, that arrogance, but also the chemistry of how the project was released, that made it successful. Because it was hard to understand. Then what made it fail, I think, we were not ready when success came.
Mentally, that thing will be like that.
If we had a lot of paperwork, because that's not. But we were opportunistic. So in the middle of all that rush, because sometimes you can step on people's toes. Really when there's people working together, there's bound to be conflict. And then what's the conflict? Our personalities.
They started showing up.
Because everybody in that project had a big ego. That's how we were able to make things succeed. Because I needed to stand my ground and know what I bring to the table. MJ, the same. Murphy, the same. Utaku, the one who was handling all the visuals and most of our promotion, the same. Even Ukaila, who featured on the track, the same. So when you have a clash of egos, you need a mediator.
Yeah, somebody who's going to bring you all on level ground.
If you don't have a mediator who's a person, that mediator should be a contract.
Yes.
We didn't have any of those two. So go to the self-interest.
Yes, there was an issue about Kolo, yeah? Yes. The issue was about what? I was
the issue.
Oh, you were the issue? Most who's saying, go
you know what?
What happened?
What No, I think someone was mischievous. I think awards. Because ba keep a nomination. We have nominees now. Sas is nominated and so forth. But kukoloi by yeslega accredit to kukoloi le isiyongoma yomuntu oyi-1.
And the Kolo having a song
Vele, it can't be. The entire project was not it was not a one skip.
Okay. Because it was 5 skippers.
Yes, for the Pirates. But unfortunately, nothing is this thing blew out of proportion. Because amachitangale abasazwisisanga ukuthi ngithini. So kwaba la misconceptions. Ukuthi hayi wena khanya usulisana lathi. But I was trying to correct the BAA's platform. But guys, you are too big and too important to make such a small
mistake.
Error. And I think it's an oversight. Even ungakhangela into engangizibhalile. Then izinto zaqalisa ukuhamba south from there because yeah.
Thina siwazi kule ngoma isitshontshiwe. Ingoma batha soyakhe njani? Nguyohlabelayo phela ngilaza ingoma soyakhe njani?
Unfortunately, the more I explained, the worse things got. Because also in Ngagule crisis, everybody has their own way of wanting to deal with it.
Yes.
Others, when you talk of crisis management, others are like ostriches. They just bury their head under the sand. Abanye nje babemile phezu kwesihlahla waiting to see what will happen. Let them fight, Omunye abe phakathi khona phana in the thick of things, trying to fight, sometimes misunderstood, sometimes not saying things the right way. So I was in the middle there trying to clarify izinto. But unfortunately, I think we weren't all trying to clarify izinto in the same way. I think with time, we then realized, there are differences amongst us. So the project lay was good, but the way that we did it meant to go to yasalele bitter aftertaste. Yes. And because there were other unresolved things from Gudala, they then started to come up at that time. So instead of it being a BAA's thing, it became into Amachita also.
Yes.
So now we had to find each other first and then go back to the BAAs and say, right, let's do it this way.
Yes.
But it's...
So
yeah, actually, we only managed to sit down, see two.
Okay. It was you and who?
Me and MJ, because Murphy was in South Africa at the time. Yeah. But also Murphy is not the kind of person who wants to get involved in such things. Because he gave us an opportunity. He's the one who brought us together. So if this project is now causing conflict and chaos, Laya's dealing with a lot of stuff, he's like, you know what, guys, I don't want to be involved in this. So we spoke to MJ, we resolved things. The good thing is we got to perform. So like, you know what, Mchita, Tina says sharp. This is a show of unity. Let's go out there, let's perform the song, silence the critics, and to put the cherry on top, the song then won outstanding video of the year.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So with the energy that you have now, so soon there will hlangana futhi again.
Yeah, so I really think ukuthi iGango is an unfinished project. I think first of all I'd really want to work with MJ again, even if it's outside of the Gango project. But I really feel ukuthi we have an opportunity to still do something significant through Gango. Yeah. If I can explain myself, I didn't come into music to become famous.
Okay.
I didn't come into music to make a lot of money. But I came into music to try and influence the culture.
Okay.
So the scale contribute to shaping the culture. And I look at it as a Bulawayo artist. How do we influence Zimbabwe? How do we influence Southern Africa? How do we influence Africa? So if you listen to the music I've been making, a lot of it crosses over because I'm trying to communicate and
to
bring
a large audience,
more audiences to the music.
Wide variety audience.
Yeah. So what I think we need to do is to create a pop sensation from La Pagoblawa. And I really still think Gango is the vehicle in our Konoko.
Yeah, definitely can. Yeah. And looking at the people that you always work with, Mrs. K and MJ Sings.
Yeah.
They really bring that vibe.
Yeah, it's interesting. You never know what you'll come up with.
How is it working with MJ and how is it working with Mrs. K?
Yeah, maybe I'll say it's looking at the sun and the moon in a way. I'll say MJ is more of the sun in the sense Yogoti is more liberal, quicker in terms of like melodies and so forth. He's always quick to come up with izinto. And he has an eye for mainstream pop sound.
Okay.
An ear, rather, for mainstream pop sound. But he's also a bit of a free radical. Yeah, so sometimes it's hard to know what to anticipate with MJ.
With MJ Sings,
yeah, yes. Because he's out in the public, but he's also a very private individual. So then Umsiz, I would say, is more like the moon in the fact that they are more structured. Like, I can tell if he's saying something, our communication lines are a bit more open. But I feel like you need balance in Jalo. When you're setting up teams, you don't just have everyone who is the same. Yes. Otherwise, your creativity, the chemistry won't come out. Chemistry, you add this element, that element, that element. If you add one element, there's no reaction. Yes. So for us to see something new, fresh, you have to add different characters. So, yeah, I think they're somewhat different. I like that idea, actually.
Are you familiar with Marco Dre?
Yeah, but I'm not yet sold on sound that much in terms of it being pop.
Okay.
I feel like Marco is safe in his identity, and he's got his niche and his space. But I think Okwamanje, I don't see that he could be flexible enough to when you start to work in the field of pop, you need to be flexible, And we are in a phase, so maybe now might not be the right phase in time, but I really, really value what he does in the space that he does it. Yeah.
So now, you talked about your music, bringing the pop sensation to influencing like the Southern African region and Africa as a whole. So what do you think we need to put in place in Bulawayo for us to be in that space and maximize?
I think some examples are already there. Last time when I was here, I was acknowledging how you guys have tried to put Ama artists in the spotlight. Yeah. So we need to identify, first of all, very talented artists and give them maximum exposure and push them through a pipeline until they get national and even regional exposure. The second thing that we lack but we need is more connections.
Okay. Ama links.
Yes, links, Harare links, so to speak, South Africa links, because those are our most relevant markets. UK links, because those are the three places with a lot of Zimbabweans that we need to reach, that we have not yet reached effectively. Music here too is not restricted by language. It's just restricted by our inability to connect with our audiences on Alawa. You will listen to these guys, but we see these guys, they'll be dancing, even dancing to his ingoma abangazaziyo.
So language is not really a barrier.
It's not a barrier. Simplify your melodies. Increase the musicality. And make sure your visuals convey the emotion of the song. People will catch on. We are visual creatures. We are also creatures of sound. So your music should create positive memories. And that's how it becomes memorable. Yeah.
And looking at our environment, it's very politically sensitive. Mm-hmm. How are you positioning your brand?
I'm not good at that. I'm not.
Because at the same time, you're an activist.
Yes, when I went to the UK, let me tell you, I wanted to learn for 3 years and come back and get involved in politics. Oh. But whilst I was there... No, because I'd been involved in activism. I'd worked even within government and Jalo. I even wrote a petition to ED one time.
Yeah.
When he was still Minister of Justice, Parliamentary and Legal Affairs.
He read your letter?
I think, or I hope he did. Yeah, because the MP I wrote the letter, she responded and said, stop sending us emails. I'm going to do my best to act on this issue, which they did in the child marriage. Okay. So even called her to Devar. I once wrote a letter to him.
I'm a nickname for my name.
Yeah. I sent him an email, actually a Facebook message once about something when he was still Minister of Primary and Secondary Education. And he responded and he acted on it. It got me in trouble. At the time.
Kulum. Yes, what did you say in detail?
Strategy release. But good ministry, they were dragging their feet. They were saying, we're unavailable, what. But this strategy was necessary for donors to fund the good young people maybe reached by information, services, and so forth. So sometimes about dollar they drag their feet. So mnangahamba, ntwele camera, ngathatha amafoto, our strategies akhona. Ngathumela umlungisi ngathi hayi yabona iministry yakho, all these documents they've been printed, they are ready. They just need to be released. Ngicela uthi fast track abantu laba benzeni. I was a young guy. But now he was writing to permanent secretary, director of what, and so forth. So bazondo mama laba. Till today. Then networking was under government, so they then bank keeper Enkundleni, which I'm overstepping. Okay. But that was the job that we had. Anyway, so I struggle sometimes to disconnect.
Yes, now we have this brand, Amany musician, then politics, Then we know Zim politics. It's fun. We're having a good time.
I literally think right now, maybe my opinions on political, social issues might be behind what I feel is censorship of the brand Amany from Ama media platforms.
Oh.
I think so. Yeah, I thought it was just a once-off thing, but I've realized...
So you've been censored how many times? 3, 4 times?
For me, I think it's 3 definite times that I can pick out. After Onovuyo dropped, I got all this interest. And then a journalist from Chronicle wrote to me, Wambuza, all these questions, to profile me as an artist. What you write, yeah, Puma next week, yeah, by next week. Nothing follow up after 1 month, what I know, the story was killed. But every week, profiles were still being released. Earlier on this year, we're doing a drop ga Eita My Sister. Lo Msiske.
Top song, by the way.
Yeah, thank you so much. He showed me the EPK. Sakhuluma sibuta chinchela pasenze so senze because we help each other when we're releasing music that we are both on. Saithumele njalo I press statement. The only paragraph that was deleted, everything else was kept, was the paragraph that says Amany Music is on this with his captive. The only paragraph.
Yeah, Kichwa.
And then go headline na Kichwa foot. I wasn't there. It was Siske and Sunduza dance. That was
it.
Yes. So we were shocked the next day. But I promote the article. Wamba wabuzu journalist. No. Editor is the one who changed the what? The article.
The article.
Yeah, the third time we had this a few weeks ago in the city hip-hop event. We sang this Eita song, Atlabelu Daideng. Go story. I'm there. Actually, my image is right in the center. In the entire article, I'm not there.
I'm trainer.
Yeah.
Spring trained.
I spoke to the journalist, actually, before the event started. So I'm absolutely certain. Actually, when I spoke to him and he was being introduced to me, he's like, who doesn't know Amany? So I know it's not the journalist. So I actually had to ask myself, why would I be censored? So I really think maybe it's because I'm outspoken, sometimes on certain things. So I try to keep Amany separate from Yemurai.
How is that going to be possible?
Because my Yemurai Nyoni, I have separate accounts for my music and then my personal activism. But now I've seen Nuguti overlap. People on my music will call me Yemurai. Go Amany, they'll say Yemurai. Go Yemurai, they'll say Amany. So now I'll sell a distinction, so I have to be more careful about what I say.
Yo.
We're tight.
And now this is in Zim, is it only you who's facing that challenge? Kuma radio station, sorry, before you answer that one. Kuma radio station, are you not yet?
My relationship with radio, based on how I started, has changed.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year, I released so much music. I was only interviewed, says Kulumanga BAAs, because it was unavoidable. Because my song was the Song of the Year. But in terms of, I released videos, the Mimi last year, I had songs, I had so many stories to tell. I'm always available. I always share also. I share the press kit, I'll explain everything. So I really feel the momentum has been lost in terms of maybe my relations with radio. I'm only invited when I'm on someone else's song.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we keep.
No.
But we're talking about national radio stations or we're talking about local?
Local. I even had to write to, I remember I wrote to Utona and I said, have you heard releasing Goma? I even released to Vulega with Pauline last year. I was like, guys, I released the music. I really feel with the music, Leani Sharp. But I've not heard anything, you know? She's like, no, Vulega. No, we've heard it. So it's a weird relationship. I know with sometimes Batibona, they don't want to interview one person, Ganeng, but I don't think I've had my...
Okay.
Yeah, so...
But
I'm not entitled, but I'm saying based on my experience with the media the year before, like 2022, 2023 was different. 2024 feels very similar still. So... yeah, if you are in the media fraternity out there, the press... apologize. What I must apologize for. Maybe there's something in the music that you feel is not right. Talk to me, let's have at least clear communication. As an artist, I depend on radio. I depend on traditional media to get my message to the people first.
Yes.
Because YouTube is not our platform. Sky's Metro is our platform. Kulimani FM is our platform. Yes. Chronicle is our platform. Before I try and reach out to the rest of the world.
Okay. So now when you release your music,
so all digital platforms, vele ungahamba ku Facebook khona phana uzame nje ubhale Amany something, maybe Amany kusheshe, Amany now we've got Amany featuring on Sis K's song Hita My Sister khona pha. So all digital platforms, digital streaming platforms. I'm on YouTube as well. I haven't yet started to produce physical copies of my music. Ngoba abantu abathengi. No. So this year, my priority is more, I'll work on the music, but I want to perform more. Because I want that to be the primary platform where people consume my music. I feel like right now, digital is overrated.
Okay, you want to be on the ground.
I want to be on the ground. There's no other way. There's no other way. I've had my best experiences on the ground. I'm tired of staying in studio. I'm tired of always trying to check how many views.
And the Eta song, how is it doing?
In terms of people's response, it's good. Everywhere we've performed it, the response has been great. In terms of the digital part, it's not getting as many numbers because now abantu bafuni video, fully fledged.
Yes.
So we're trying to find ways now. Last week Friday, we walked around the city. Popularizing the song, interviewing people. So we want to create meaning behind the music. We want Ngomaleana to have a life cycle which is longer than 4 minutes as Tolago YouTube.
Oh, yes.
We want it to be a conversation.
Yes. What is it that? What's the different thing that you did on this song since last time?
This time we decided to be more on brand. Last song was Bad Boy. Yeah, I was saying we are dangerous. Vele singama Casanova.
Yeah,
but that's not who we are now. Yeah, so we decided to focus on more positive messages.
Okay.
On love. That's the kind of music I do. It's linked to even Novuyo. Novuyo and lyrics and gens, so I use the same type of energy on the song.
On this one.
Yeah.
Amany,
thank you.
It's been lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Story sakho la Tanzania. For sure. Thank you to Pure Event Solutions for providing us with the furniture and all the designs for the visuals and all RG Media Services, and Deb3 for giving us Enkundleni exclusive, and Sipo Mason for being an awesome host in Chinese.
Yeah, you are awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button on YouTube. And if you want a host for any show, for any event, I'm available. And at this time, I'm Amany. Thank you.
Yeah.
Siyabonga. Koti.